Hey, it's always a little bit difficult to analyze and judge your own pictures. And I definitely don't want to brag about what I've accomplished or where I am as a photographer. But in order for me to explain what I'm trying to explain and show you today, I need to pretend that I like my work more than I do. So see, with the black and white photography, I think that I am little by little developing my own style. You know, I think I sort of get what I want, and I have also anecdotal evidence. I mean, quite a few people have said to me that they saw a picture somewhere and then they immediately knew that it's Ari's picture. They didn't say if they liked the picture, but they said that they knew it was mine, which I like that feedback because it shows me that I'm maybe on a verge of having something of my own in those pictures. You know, I take pictures like this. Yeah, so I like black and white, and most of my pictures are black and white. I know how to express myself using black and white photography, and I know my tools. You know, I know how pushing a film affects my portraits. I know how to create a beautiful halo effect using stand development. And I know how to photograph pure white snow on a film. So I feel I know enough about black and white photography to create my own style and sort of get what I want. At least some of that. But that's not the case with my color pictures. I mean, even I can take a nice picture every now and then, but there is no consistency. There is no mastering of the media at all. I take plain vanilla color pictures that anybody could take, that I feel are sometimes pretty, but that's about it. I take color pictures like this. Hey, in one of my earlier videos I showed to you my process of getting new ideas into my process. Like I look at other people's pictures and I analyze how they were done. If I like the picture, I think about how was that accomplished. And then I also myself do all kind of experiments. And sometimes I stumble upon a result that I like. And then once again I go back and think about how did I get that? And with those tools, they eventually become my arsenal, and I can use them over and over again to get the results that I want. Now I'm much further with black and white, and I sort of start to know my way around there. But you know, with color pictures and color imaging, I've also done a lot of experiments. But I don't know, I haven't been able to use them consistently. Nevertheless, I thought I'm gonna show you some of my tricks, some of the things with the color pictures that I've experimented, and maybe at some point of time they become part of my arsenal. Anywho, so first of all, I take pictures, a lot of pictures with my pinhole camera, both black and white and color pictures. Now, why I like this tool with color imaging is that Most of the color pictures we see today are really high resolution, crystal sharp, like really pinpoint accurate images. Like that's what the photography is going to. And that's the current trend with technology. This takes it totally to the other extreme. With the pinhole, images are soft, the colors are a little bit more subdued, and I like that. It's taking it out of the mainstream. And I take pictures like this with my pinhole camera. Now with a pinhole, one of the challenges is that, especially if you take pictures like those were on a color positive film, it is quite challenging to get the exposure right. First of all, color positive film is pretty brutal and has very little forgiveness for wrong exposures, and pinhole doesn't make that easier. But you know, that I like the results. The other thing that I do, the next trick, is taking Instax pictures with old cameras. I made videos about these things. I put some links up there so you can see more information if you want to. So I put Instax film inside of my Graflex, inside my Rolleiflex, inside of my Graflex and other cameras, and take pictures. And what I like about this Instax film is that, first of all, it's an ASA 800. It has very unique look, and then it creates immediately physical results. I take pictures like this. Then going on with my crazy color explorations, light leaks. Light leaks in the black and white photography are, in my liking, just stupid. I mean, they take away the contrast and they are just gray leaks. I just don't like them that much. But in color photography, if you get the right color, especially red, that can be pretty groovy. My latest purchase was this Holga panorama camera, and it has a pretty neat light leak. I also have an old FED 2 Soviet camera that I don't use that much because it currently has a shutter problem, but you know, it has also a beautiful light leak, and you know, I take pictures like this. Moving on, expired film. I go online every now and then and look for expired films, and sometimes you get a nice deal. Now, you never know how these films were stored, and sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you get unlucky, but you know, it's interesting, and most of these expired films, they have interesting color shifts and they just have a unique feeling. So I like to shoot expired films. I get results like this. Then cross development. When I shoot color positive film, either expired or brand new, you know, I get realistic results. The more realistic, of course, with the new film than with the expired film. But sometimes I want to do something different, and instead of developing the color positive film with E6, which is the chemicals for developing color positives, I develop color positive film using a regular C41 development liquids, meaning that I cross-develop it. I sort of use wrong chemicals to develop color-positive films. That's called cross-development. And what that gives me is more aggressive look on the film. It creates sort of a grain. I don't know if that really is the film grain, but it sort of like creates this structure on top of the film. It also shifts the colors, and then it creates more contrast, and it just have more punch. I mean, once again, it's not realistic, but that's not what I'm after with this trick. I like to develop them color positives with this color negative liquids. Also, expired color positive film often tilts to magenta, and if you cross develop it, it won't tilt to magenta anymore. It tilts more to green, and I like that more. So I get this kind of results. Then I push color film. You know, it's not very commonly done, but I push color film to the extreme. Like here is, for example, an example where I took Lomo 800 and pushed it to 6400. So that's like 1, 2, 3 stops, 4 stops. 3 stops. It's pretty extreme, and I didn't even know, a while back that you can push color film, but yeah, of course you can push it. I get results like this, more oomph, more punchy, a little bit like what I do with cross development, but now I can take photographs in more dark conditions, pictures like this. Now pushing is something that I really like to do with black and white film too. You know, if I want to shout, if I want to make a strong impression, if I want to emphasize something, pushing is always a good way to do it. Now another way to affect the outcome of the film that I've used is bleach bypass. Now that is a technique that when you develop your film, you skip, or you don't actually skip, you reduce the time you use bleach. Bleach is the phase in color development that sort of takes away the silver content from the color film. And if you reduce the time of that bleach phase, then there is more silver left on the film. And in a final result that shows more dark and more old-fashioned, if you will. That technique is widely used in movies that were shot on film. Films like, $1 Million Baby, Saving Private Ryan, Minority Report. They were all shot on film and developed using bleach bypass. Now if you are interested, I can show more how to do this, if this interests you. But basically what happens is that since the bleach and fix are typically in one single chemical here, they are combined, what I do is that I develop the film normally, and then I just give it a fraction of the time of the bleach and fix combined. Then I wash the film and put it into black and white fixture, just to make sure that it's properly fixed. And then I wash it and do the rest. It's a little bit more darker, it's a little bit more sad outcome, and a little bit more, once again, subdue colors, and the results are like this. then, finally, something that I did the other week. You know, I took a roll of film. You know, I think it was Portra 160, and just took a roll of pictures. You know, portraits, some flowers, some, you know, just random pictures. Then, as I had photographed the entire roll, I turned the film in my darkroom the other way around and put it inside of my FT2 Industar panoramic camera. So then I photographed the back side of the film. When you photograph the back side of the film, you get very red pictures. Like there's a layer of film that sort of turns the picture red if you photograph the back side. You also need to add about 3-4 stops of light, because there's this layer that doesn't really let the light go through. Anyhow, so I got, on the other side of the film, I got these portraits and whatnot. Then at the back side of the film, I got panoramic pictures, but totally red. And it's of course totally random how they overlap with each other. So it's kind of a dual exposure, totally random. It's kind of a mess, but I wanted to experiment with it, and I got pictures like this. Yeah, so as you can see, I've also experimented with color films, and I got a lot of tools in my toolbox, but I don't yet know how to use these tools. It's like I'm a guy with a whole set of carpenter tools, but I don't know carpentry. Maybe one of these days, but hey, at least it's a lot of fun. See you later.